When you hear the word starfish, you probably picture a bright orange creature clinging to a rock, arms stretched out like a cartoon star. It's a familiar image. But the name itself raises a quiet question. Why starfish? It doesn't sparkle. It doesn't live in the sky. And as we'll discover, it isn't even technically a fish. So where did the name come from? And why has it stuck around for centuries? Today, we're unpacking the surprisingly deep story behind one of the ocean's most misunderstood animals, right here on History of Simple Things. At first glance, the name starfish feels obvious. Most species have 5 arms radiating from a central body, forming a shape that looks remarkably like the stars people have drawn for thousands of years. Not the scientifically accurate stars, of course, but the symbolic ones, 5-pointed, symmetrical, simple. Early humans were excellent pattern recognizers. Long before microscopes or marine biology, people named animals based on appearance. A creature that looked like a star and lived in the sea naturally became a starfish. Simple, descriptive, and easy to remember. But that's only part of the story. To understand why the name stuck, we need to rewind far beyond modern English, back to ancient languages and early coastal cultures. The word star comes from Old English stiora, which traces even further back to Proto-Germanic and Proto-Indo-European roots meaning to scatter or to spread. That idea fits surprisingly well. A starfish's arms spread outward from its center in all directions, just like light rays in ancient star imagery. The fish part is more complicated. In early history, fish didn't mean what it means today. It wasn't a strict biological category. It was a catch-all term for creatures that lived in water. If it swam, crawled, or clung to rocks beneath the waves, people often called it a fish, whether it had scales, fins, or bones or not. Jellyfish, cuttlefish, crayfish, all of them inherited that same naming logic. Starfish simply followed the pattern. This loose definition carried over into Latin and Greek as well. The ancient Greeks called starfish asterias, from aster meaning star. That same root gives us words like asteroid in astronomy. The Romans adopted similar terminology, and as European languages evolved, the star association stayed firmly attached to the animal. By the time English became standardized, starfish was already deeply embedded in everyday language. It wasn't a scientific decision, it was cultural momentum. Here's where things get interesting. Despite the name, a starfish is not a fish at all. It doesn't have gills like fish do. It doesn't have scales. It doesn't even have a backbone. In fact, it belongs to an entirely different group of animals called echinoderms, a category that includes sea urchins, sand dollars, and sea cucumbers. Echinoderm means spiny skin, which is already a far better biological description than fish. Starfish breathe through tiny structures called papillae, move using hydraulic tube feet, and have a water vascular system that functions nothing like a fish's circulatory system. From a scientific standpoint, calling it a fish is completely wrong. And yet, the name remains. So why didn't we change it? Science eventually tried. In the 19th and 20th centuries, marine biologists began pushing for the term sea star instead of starfish. Sea star is more accurate, avoids confusion, and reflects the animal's true classification. In textbooks, documentaries, and aquariums, sea star is now the preferred term. You'll hear marine biologists correct themselves mid-sentence. Some will gently correct you too. But language doesn't change just because it's told to. Starfish is one of those words that feels intuitive, visual, and familiar. It's been used in folklore, children's books, poetry, and casual speech for hundreds of years. For most people, it carries warmth and recognition. Sea star sounds technical by comparison, so instead of disappearing, starfish became a common name, while sea star became the scientific favorite. Both coexist, serving different purposes. There's also something symbolic about the name that helps it survive. Stars have always represented wonder, mystery, and guidance. They're things we look up to, literally and metaphorically. Associating a sea creature with a star gives it a kind of quiet magic. It feels special, even if you don't consciously think about it. That symbolism shows up everywhere. Starfish are common in art, jewelry, logos, and beach decor. They're often used to represent resilience, regeneration, and calm, qualities tied directly to their biology. After all, starfish can regrow lost arms. Some species can regenerate most of their body from a single limb. Long before people understood the science, the star shape already suggested something extraordinary. The name didn't just describe how it looked, it shaped how people felt about it. And then there's the human tendency toward visual storytelling. When someone who has never seen the ocean hears starfish, they instantly imagine the shape. No explanation needed. That kind of clarity is powerful. Names that paint pictures tend to survive, even when they're technically inaccurate. Think about it. We still say sunrise and sunset, even though we know the sun isn't moving around the Earth. Language prioritizes meaning over precision. Starfish works the same way. Interestingly, not all starfish even look like stars. Some species have more than 5 arms, sometimes dozens. Others have arms so short they resemble cushions or blobs. There are starfish shaped like pentagons, flowers, and even abstract sculptures. Yet we still call them starfish because the name isn't about perfect accuracy, it's about origin. The first ones people noticed and named fit the star shape beautifully. Everything else inherited the label. Today, whether you call it a starfish or a sea star, you're not really wrong. One is culturally correct, the other is scientifically precise. Both tell part of the story. And maybe that's fitting for a creature that lives between worlds, between rock and water, science and myth, accuracy and imagination. A star resting quietly on the ocean floor. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.